Hello and welcome again to another screencast edition of Autodesk Maya. Today we'll be focusing on implementing UV mapping features. Now previously I've talked about in regards to implementing simple material shaders. Unlike material shaders, you put more complex textures and also color maps to simulate a real world object. Now, as you can see here, by default, this apple is set up by Lambert. So the best option is to choose which material shader would be best to use. Now, considering the apple has a bit of a gloss to it, but still with a matte texture from its skin, the best option to use would be Bling. So what we're going to do is go to right mouse click and select Assign New Material. There, your Assign New Material node will pop up, and what we're going to do is select Blend. Now, once you have that set up, you should see your texture being implemented, and it should have a little bit of a glossy tinge right here. That's because of the incandescence and the specularity that's rolling off from the material shader. Next, what you're going to do on the bottom of your attributes editor, on the common material attributes right here, next to the color bar on your right is the checkerboard box. Select that node. Once you select that node, you'll notice that you'll have a render node pop up. Please select the checker color node. So once you have that, it's implemented. Right now you don't see, but once you press the number 6 key, you'll see that your texture is implemented. This is basically the texture that you have that has all the seams. You'll see there's a bit of imperfection there. And the reason why we do UV mapping is, if you look at your UV editor, you'll see that your whole format is a complete mess. It's jumbled up into one big giant grid. The name of the game is to pretty much get this splayed out, deconstructed, to be able to recreate the simulated object. So, once we have that established, what we're going to do is right click and hold and go to face mode. Once we have that, we're going to go right here to our paint selection tool. We are going to paint all the faces within our polygon primitive right here, just the basic stuff from the side. And this could be easily done. Now, if you want to resize your brush, all you have to do is hold the B key and left mouse click to drag to resize the brush. Now, there will be certain occasions where you may have over selected, but that's okay. If you want to undo it, all you have to do is hold the control key and left mouse click. So all you have to do is press the control key. So once we got that done, be sure to make sure you have all the faces selected. You'll see a different color. If it's like in a peach color, that means it's selected. If it's not, that means you haven't selected it and needs to be selected. So always be aware of your faces on your polygon primitive. Make sure they're covered. Once you have that ready, the next step is to choose your UV mapping settings. So despite the shape, there's two ways you could do this. You could use the spherical or the cylindrical. What we're going to do is play with the cylindrical right now, and you'll see this setup right here. Sorry, we're going to use the spherical. So since that seems a little bit more logical, you could still use cylindrical if you want to. So make sure you have the bars set up right here. And once you have that, you're going to use your UV editor as a guideline to see where your object is at. Now you see everything's a little bit splayed out and more ironed out. So if you want to make sure it's ironed out clean and more efficient, there are tools that you could use to pretty much unfold on your object. So once you already have that, let's see here. Here, tools. And what it does, you'll see and you'll notice that it's splayed out a little bit more clean. And it basically irons out all the wrinkles supposedly on your supposed texture. Now if you look right here, you'll see a big difference. And do be careful on what you select, and be sure to make sure you are careful on your selection. So sometimes you have to individually select your work like this and try to avoid any sort of seams that are there. So you're going to line them up. So once you have that done, adjust, adjust, and adjust. There we go. And usually you would have to work with your ends right here. So that pretty much concludes today's screencast tutorial. Thank you.